My 40M wife 35F is messaging with her ex. Created a new account because my wife knows my regular one. My wife and I were pretty open with each other about our past back when we started dating. A few months prior to her and I meeting, she had been dating a guy from another country. I'll call him R. She described her relationship with R as sexually charged and primarily based on sex. They dated a few months and then he returned to his home country. She planned to visit him there before finding out he had a fiancé and that he had been engaged the whole time. She told me he was the best lover she ever had before she met me, which I took with a grain of salt. A few months into us dating, she showed me some messages he had recently sent her. Things like "I miss ducking you." I told her I didn't think she should respond. She apparently did not respond, but he still continued to send messages like that every few weeks. Finally, she sent him an email asking him to stop and to not contact her anymore. R ceased contact for a while, but over the last few years he has sent her messages like "Hi," or telling her he will be traveling back to the States where we live and he wants to meet up. She would sometimes write back and sometimes not and then usually mention it to me a few weeks later. She recently told me about another exchange they had and offered to show me the messages. The gist is R said hi and a couple weeks later she said hi back at 1 o'clock in the morning, and they had a conversation about him potentially visiting the US. In that conversation she mentioned potentially visiting Min in Argentina, his home country. I asked her what she was doing. I told her I would love to visit Argentina although we have never discussed it, but that I had no interest in spending time with her if we did. And that I also doubt R's wife had any interest in hanging out with the girl he cheated on her with while in the States. She proceeded to get defensive and started saying things like, "I am allowed to have friends. It's not like I am sending him pictures of my TTS. I think it's really weird that I even have to mention conversations I have with other people. If we ever went to Argentina, it would be much better to know someone there," etc. I reminded her that I do not keep tabs on her conversations, but I think it is really strange she continues to stay in contact with this guy. She stormed out and we have barely talked since. There have been a few other similar instances involving a male neighbor and another dad at our son preschool. She has hung out with those guys while I am at work and claims it was just for the kids. I may write about these instances later. I don't know if she has cheated yet, but there are a lot of red flags for me. Am I being gaslit? Am I being too possessive? What should my next steps be? I know she would not like it if the situations were reversed. Redditor's reactions story 2 after. Redditor 1, yeah, she knows what this guy wants. She's not entertaining him because she wants to be friends, she's at least entertaining the idea of having time with him. If a trip to Argentina is planned, you won't be part of that plan. If he comes to you, his fiancé wife now? Won't know anything about them meeting up. Redditor 2, seems like a common thread in these stories is that women start out wanting validation and compare the current level of excitement to that of flings in the past. Married life tends to get a little dull over time. Too many times both men and women look outside the marriage for excitement rather than being honest with their partner and working together to improve things. The fact that she is getting offended about the spouse having issues with her spending too much time and being a little too close to other males is very indicative of her looking elsewhere for her attention and validation. She has already rationalized and justified the behavior in her mind. I recommend you have an open, honest, and frank discussion on what you feel is inappropriate activities in a non-accusatorial fashion. Explain how she has raved about how good in bed the one guy from her past was, how he has previously sent inappropriate texts in the past, and that he is not trustworthy by her own admission that he originally cheated on his fiancée with her unknowingly at the time. Explain you fully trust her but you don't trust him and the seeming enthusiasm she has in continuing to text him and possibly meet up with him is painful to you. If she blows up and totally disregards your feelings, then there is a much deeper problem than just him. That would indicate she is losing faith and desire in the marriage with you. Good luck and best wishes. Redditor follow-up, I would ask her one other question. Suppose an old flame from your past wanted to visit you and spend time with you. Would she be okay with that? I have serious doubts she would. The two things are no different, and I can guess why he wants to see her. Redditor 3, she was cheating with a guy who was cheating on his fiancée. He keeps contacting her. She's got guy friends she hangs out for the sake of the kids? Dude. Your plan B. She's screwing anything that moves and chumping you. Story 2, GFF23 cheated on me M23 and told everyone I cheated on her. In the end of July, my girlfriend had a lot of pain in her stomach. She went to the hospital to check it. She got a cyst on her ovary. They also checked if she had any STDs. She had none. In the beginning of August I went on holiday with some friends for a week. In the end of August, she went to the hospital again, because she still had a lot of pain. They checked it again, and she tested positive on chlamydia. We were both so shocked. We talked with each other if someone cheated, but we trusted each other. 4 weeks ago I also got the results from my STD test and I also tested positive on chlamydia. 3 weeks ago she came over and broke up with me, because she thinks I cheated on her. I didn't do anything. She even left a letter for my parents. In that letter she said that I did so much wrong in the relationship and that I cheated in the end and gave het chlamydia. I told my friends and my family about it and they told me, come on, wake up, she cheated on you. I just couldn't believe it. We never had that much struggle and the moments we had were so pure. I tried to get over it and let it rest. Till yesterday. A friend of mine had seen my ex-GF on a dating app. He was so convinced that she cheated on me that he made a fake profile and tried to match her. He matched her and came up with a fake story to gain her trust. Then she admitted that she had time with her ex-boyfriend who is 40 while she was in the relationship with me. My friend showed me the screenshots and I'm so ducked up now. I just can't believe this happened. The way she turned this whole story on me while she was the one that cheated blows my mind. Her parents hate her ex-boyfriend and I think she panicked when she tested positive for chlamydia, because someone maybe would found out that she had time with her ex-boyfriend. Then she came with this ducked up story that I cheated on her in my holiday. I have the proof that she cheated. Should I confront her, tell her parents or just let it rest? Please help me Reddit. I'm so ducked up. Update, I confronted her and told her she cheated on me. She still denied it and said that I was the one that cheated. I showed her the screenshots and she was in shock. She still said they were fake. I left and told her to take a very good look in the mirror. Redditor's reaction story 3 after. Redditor 1, yes, you should clear your name. Don't take the fall for someone not worth it. Redditor follow up, exactly. No need to respect the privacy or reputation of a cheater. I mean Jesus FCK. She went so hard to convince people it was him that she left a note full of lies to his parents? Fuck that. Redditor 2, probably she cheated on you and made the first move in this shitshow chess. I would advise you to spread the truth in the world. Not as vengeance but to clear your name. I've been in your shoes and what saved my group of friends was the decision of exposing everything to everyone. Best luck. Redditor follow up, I do agree, but I would just share with family and friends. Just say, hey, you mentioned you got this letter, it's full of lies, she is the one that cheated. It sucks, but our relationship is over now. And if family and friends don't believe your side of the story, well, I wouldn't call people my family or friends that think so low of me to be incapable of cheating. But that's one to tackle after telling them the truth, that hopefully won't even happen. For other people that you don't really know, maybe you only know them through her etc. well, I wouldn't bother. And I wouldn't broadcast it on social media either, that's just the attention that she wants. Just discuss it privately with friends and family. Redditor 3, put it all out on social media. Clear your name. Story 3, wife 33F, the mother of our baby cheated on me 37M. A few days ago my wife 33F dropped a bomb on me 37M. She had cheated me last weekend with her high school acquaintance. It was drunken time but cheating nevertheless. We have been together for 6 years and we recently bought a house. We have a 1-year-old boy. We've had trouble adjusting to life with the baby, lack of sleep, lack of time, lack of affection. But still, I am beyond crushed for how she could do this to us as a family. It also crushed me that I don't feel she's been overly emphatic about this. She does have PPD which could affect this, or maybe she does not understand the magnitude. Or maybe I don't and I'm overreacting. I already feel humiliated and the humiliation just continues because it is mainly I who have to initiate discussions and try to find hope for us despite being barely functional. But we have agreed that we'll want to fix this for kids' sake. We are going next week on couple counseling, which is good, but I wish it had happened before everything was shattered to pieces. Have any of you and your family survived from similar case? How should I approach this situation? Will the pain ever stop? Redditor's reaction story 4 after. Redditor 1, she cheated and hurt you and doesn't even bother trying to act like she cares that she hurt you. She also clearly doesn't respect you or the vows she made to you. Staying for the kid never works and usually ends up hurting the kid worse than growing up with divorced parents ever has. Redditor follow up, staying for the kid is never a good idea. Please avoid giving your child the trauma of witnessing his parents hate each other for the rest of his life. Redditor 2, I don't feel she's been overly emphatic about this, so, she does not regret it. If you stay together, it will happen again. How should I approach this situation? Contact a divorce attorney. Get tested for STD/STIs. Have a paternity test done on your child. Will the pain ever stop? No, but it will diminish with time. Redditor 3, get a DNA test. Redditor follow up. This. If she admitted to cheating now, there's a possibility she did before. Cheaters are well known for trickle-truthing. She could have been with this same person or someone else previously. Story 4, wife died unexpectedly, discovered her affair. My wife died this past week unexpectedly. She was young and healthy, and the illness took her in hours. I thought things had hit rock bottom. She essentially died in front of me, and I was racked by grief and guilt over her death. All things considered, I was coping as well as could be expected. Make no mistake, I was going through the expected grieving reactions. I raged and hysterically cried for days. I went numb and then silent, then hysterical again. But I have good friends and I have been surrounded by family from both sides of the marriage. In the process of going through her belongings, I discovered on her phone that she had been having an on and off affair for the last 3 years. It looks like she started cheating during a period where I was depressed after losing my job and father in the space of 2 weeks, both unexpectedly. After mourning for 3 months and seeking treatment for diagnosed depression, I was back at a new job. However, at the time she said that she felt lonely and that I was distant to her. In the following years we worked to try and mend our relationship, but she would always come back to saying that things changed those months after my father's death. What more can life do to me? This man she was having the affair with appears to be in a shoal that may have been abusing her, based on the text messages. He appears to be the exact opposite of me. I am a kind, generous, attractive, and intelligent person with a good career. The logical part of my brain knew that she had the capacity for dishonesty and selfishness, but I could never have imagined this. I am absolutely and totally devastated. The only saving grace is that we never had children. I wanted them and she did too, but she kept wanting to put it off. I suppose now I know the truth of why. I feel like I will never be happy again. Redditor's reaction. Story 5 after. Redditor 1, firstly, I can't begin to fathom the sheer amount of horrible everything this is raining down on you. However, I'm also of the opinion that death doesn't absolve people of their wrongdoings. I would check and at least make sure insurances are in check and that she didn't do anything stupid like leave her affair partner money or possessions. Afterward, I would simply walk away and celebrate the new beginning this affords you. I understand you not wanting to sully her image, but the reality is, dead or not, she was a terrible wife for doing what she did to you, and if anyone asks, they deserve to know the truth for better or worse. Take time to grieve, not for her, but for yourself. In time, you will find that memory will fade and you are still alive to make new, better ones. Take care, and congratulations on reclaiming your life. It may not feel like it now, but later on you'll be glad you weren't stuck with an unfaithful person, and not having to go through an inevitably nasty divorce. Answer, thank you. It might be ugly to admit it, but I am coming around to this view on things. I am a little angry that so many good years were wasted. If she had been honest with me, it would have been better. I'm young, but I'm not that young, in my mid-30s. Redditor 2, are there some older people in your life, whom you trust, respect, that you could talk to about this? It's unhealthy for you to be alone with this. I am so sorry. Answer, it's hard to be honest. She was beloved by many people, including her parents and my family. The funeral is still this week, and I believe strongly that I don't want to bother sullying their image of her by telling anyone. Right now the discovery is between me, my few closest friends, and Reddit. I am planning on seeking a therapist and/or grief counselor today for an appointment next week. Redditor 3, first of all, I am so sorry for your loss. Your emotions, your grief, and your anguish about her death are valid. You aren't an idiot for being in love with her while she was cheating on you. You aren't an idiot for trusting her. You aren't an idiot for believing her. She was your wife and you were a good husband to her. And like any good person, you believed she was good too. Your loss is immeasurable but not insurmountable. I think the most important thing in your life right now is to make sure that you have a good support system. This can be family, a support group, or friends, but you should not be dealing with this alone. Your wife was one chapter in the long chronicle of your life. This chapter had all the ups and downs of a good story. She gave you love, betrayal, despair, and happiness. She's gone now and she would want you to move on and be happy without her. Time will heal this wound. Best of luck. Story 5. I am 24 am having a full-blown affair with the company sales manager F47. This is probably nothing out of the ordinary for this sub or even Reddit, but to me, this is the craziest thing that's ever happened to me and I wanted to share the story. This started over a month ago. I'm a network engineer at a smaller company. We recently hired a sales manager who is an attractive, older woman. Her first day in the office, I was in charge of getting all her computer stuff situated. As I was doing the work, she made small talk and we just casually chatted. I gave her my extension and told her to call me if anything else comes up. She called a few times over the next week and I would run up to her office and help with petty things. Mouse ran out of batteries, loose cable, etc. Each time I came by, the conversations got more in depth. She started talking about her divorce and how her ex-husband was in IT and that she found a smart guy to be timey. We ended up talking more than fixing anything. I'm an awkward dude, but she's an outgoing salesperson, so she knew exactly how to talk to keep the awkwardness away, and to my surprise we chatted and got along pretty well, really quick. Well, one evening, after most the staff left for the day, she calls me to say her laptop is stuck in the dock. I go up there, do a little finesse, and get it unstuck. We had our usual conversation with a few casual flirts here and there. We're laughing, both relaxed. She puts her hand on my leg a few times, and she's getting more touchy. She ends up telling me about her home computer and how it won't boot to Windows anymore. Since she only lives 5 minutes away from the office, I decided to get some balls and just say, well, maybe one of these days I can swing by and take a look. She offered for me to come over right after work. And so I did. I get to her house, holy yes, it was huge, all prepped with my computer repair kit. She shows me to the computer and I start looking at it. It took less than 15 minutes for us to both have a vodka cranberry in our hands and feeling tipsy. It got to the point where I was too tipsy to even fluently work with a computer, so she offered for me to take a break and just hang out on the couch to chat. We talked. Then we flirted. Next thing I know, we did it. It was the best. Exhausted, I went home and never actually fixed her computer. I've gone back over a few times more planning to actually fix the computer, but I never have. I'm sure you know what went down instead. I've always been attracted to older women, but this is my first experience with one. I ducking love it. She's wild and crazy. No one in the office has any idea. I guess we'll see how far this ends up going. Edit. Since this post is gaining traction, I wanted to give some insight to some of your comments or questions. Affair, saying this meaning a taboo relationship. For those concerned, yes, we keep it pretty cool. I can go a few days without even talking to her. There's times I actually go help her and it's purely professional, not even a wink. But Therese times that it's not, and that's why it's fun. Redditors' reactions. Redditor 1, I just want to give you the advice to leave and end it all as soon as you notice the slightest development of feelings. I wasn't in the same situation, but based on the experiences I made, I can tell you it's easy to ignore the risk and hard to deal with the inevitable. Op answer, thanks for that. I'll be honest, I always think about her now. She's seriously an awesome woman, and if she was my age, I'd definitely date her. My emotional side tells me I love her, but my logical side tells me that's not love, it's just bomb SX. I know to trust my logical side on this one and keep the emotional side at bay. I don't text her or anything to get close. I wait for the "can you come take a look at this" texts. No more, no less. I have a feeling it will fizzle out, especially as work gets busier, and I'm perfectly okay with that. Just gonna take the ride for what it is, and when it's time to get off, I'm a hop off. Redditor 2, this is definitely out of the ordinary for this sub, since as of late, most people just use this sub to humble brag about how awesome they are and the Herculean efforts they make behind the scenes for those they love. Oh yeah, and someone posted here earlier about their cat giving birth. I'm glad to see something that actually belongs here being posted. Redditor 3, the more you guys bang, the more people in the office will catch on. Op answer, we're doing a good job at playing it cool for now, but I definitely see your point.